Today's episode is a time-lapse of digging out of space to make an iron golem farm. I went on some side quests apparently while doing it. You really have to trust the process on this one. Our first story is from someone who learned the hard way to always check their Zoom settings. So, this guy, let's call him Dave, logs into a super important work meeting. He's trying to look sharp, but he recently played around with the Zoom filters with his kid. The meeting starts, and within seconds, his boss says, "Dave, are you feeling okay?" Confused, Dave glances at his video feed and realizes, he's a cat. Not just any cat, one of those fluffy, slightly grumpy-looking ones with big, blinking eyes. He tries to switch it off, but every time he talks, the cat's mouth moves instead. After 5 minutes of trying to fix it, he gives up and says, "Sorry everyone, I'll be your feline project manager today." The meeting went perfectly after that. Let me take you to the bustling world of office life, where the most sacred object isn't the fax machine, the copy paper, or even the sacred break room microwave. No, it's the communal coffee pot.so. I worked at this company where coffee was basically the fuel that kept us running, literally and emotionally. Every morning, there was a mad dash to the kitchen at 8:59. But one fateful Monday, the coffee pot was just gone. Vanished. Cue panic. People wandered the halls like caffeine-deprived zombies. Someone even tried to brew coffee in a Tupperware with a tea strainer. It wasn't pretty. After an hour of chaos, a mysterious email appeared. "Attention all staff, if you want to see your precious Mr. Brewster again, bring 6 packs of jelly donuts to conference room B at noon. Come alone." Yes, someone had kidnapped the coffee pot and was demanding payment in pastries. Of course, IT immediately traced the email to Gary, the quiet guy who always brought his own thermos. At noon, a group of us solemnly delivered the donuts. Gary, in a dollar store mask, handed over the coffee pot with all the seriousness of a spy exchange. From then on, we had a sign over the coffee maker, "Ransom will not be negotiated." Gary? He got Employee of the Month. The break room's never been safer. Have you ever tried to look cool and ended up looking like an absolute fool? So, this happened to a college student named Alex. He's walking into the library, sees his crush, and decides to make a grand entrance. He struts towards the automatic doors, only to have them not open. He walks right into the glass. Hard. The sound echoes through the whole lobby. Turns out, Alex was so busy making eye contact that he aimed for the wrong set of doors, the ones that are always locked. The best part? His crush walks over, asks if he's okay, and says, "It's okay, I do that all the time." A love story, brought to you by Automatic Doors. You think teaching your parents technology is tough? Try teaching your grandma. My Nana decided she wanted to be hip and get a smartphone. So we set her up, and I gave her a crash course in texting. For the first week, every message was in all caps. She thought the send button was just for emergencies, so she'd write out long, dramatic messages and never actually send them. But the best part? Nana discovered emojis. One day, "I got this. Dear Ian, I love you. Skull, eggplant, fire, poop." I called her, trying so hard not to laugh, and said, "Nana, do you know what those mean?" She replied, "Well, the eggplant is because I made you lasagna, and the skull is for Halloween. The fire is because I love you to the moon and back, and the little swirl is a cinnamon bun." Now, every text is a cryptic emoji puzzle. My friends and I take bets on what Nana's messages mean. The best part? She's happy, I'm confused, and every day is a little adventure in translation. This one's a family classic. A Redditor shares that every Thanksgiving, Grandma would serve her special tea that had everyone in a really good mood. One year, a cousin finally asks, "Grandma, what's in this?" She winks and says, "Just a little something to help you tolerate Uncle Jerry." Turns out, Grandma had been spiking the tea with a healthy dose of brandy for years. No wonder Thanksgiving was always so much fun. Okay, this one's for anyone who's ever lived alone and convinced themselves their house is haunted. So, this Redditor moves into a new apartment and brings along their trusty Roomba. But every night, at exactly 3:33 a.m., the Roomba starts up and begins cleaning. Only problem? It's not scheduled to run. At first, they figure it's a glitch. They reset it. Unplug it. Even hide it in the closet. Still, every night, whir, out it comes, bumping into walls, vacuuming in the dark like a little robot zombie. One night, determined to catch the ghost, the Redditor stays up, hiding behind the couch, phone camera ready. At 3:33, nothing happens, until a loud thud from the closet. The Roomba bursts out like a possessed hockey puck, spinning in frantic circles. Turns out, their cat had learned how to press the clean button, and had been riding the Roomba around the apartment every night like a tiny, furry cowboy. The real haunting? Cat hair. Everywhere. Now, the cat gets a little hat, the Roomba gets a name, Boo, and the Redditor gets to sleep, sometimes. If you've ever worked in an office, you know the printer is basically a torture device. One day, a guy named Sam decides to print out a simple document. Instead, the printer starts spitting out page after page of cat memes. Turns out, someone in IT thought it would be funny to set the default print job to a folder full of memes. Sam's boss walks by, sees the printer going wild, and just says, "At least they're cute cats." The office spent the rest of the day trying to figure out who the cat bandit was. So, picture this, a group of friends deep into their weekly Dungeons and Dragons campaign. They're in the middle of an epic boss fight when someone yells, "Pizza's here." They scramble, dice flying, character sheets abandoned. But when they open the door, the delivery guy is staring at them, wide-eyed, holding a pizza box like it's a magical artifact. He looks at the table, miniature dragons, fake swords, someone wearing a wizard hat. Without missing a beat, the DM says, "You have entered the lair of the pepperoni golem. Roll for initiative." The delivery guy's eyes light up. "Can I play?" He puts the pizza down, grabs a spare die, and for the next half hour, he's Tony the Barbarian, slaying imaginary monsters and making up battle cries. He leaves with a tip and a new party nickname, the Deliverer. Now, every Friday, Tony times his deliveries to join the campaign for a round or two. Best crossover ever. A woman posts that every morning, one of her shoes goes missing. She blames her dog, her roommate, even considers ghosts. One night, she sets up her phone to record. Turns out, she sleepwalks. And every night, she puts her left shoe in the fridge. So, if you ever lose something, check your fridge, you might be the culprit and not even know it.
Someone in the office has been stealing snacks, specifically, the coveted chocolate-covered pretzels, from the communal kitchen. A spreadsheet appears on the fridge, Snack Tracker 3000. Every day, new clues are added. Suspicious crumbs by the printer. Empty wrapper in the recycling. People start interrogating each other, Law Order style. One guy even brings in a little magnifying glass and a fake mustache. Finally, the office manager sets up a decoy snack, a bag of pretzels laced with edible glitter. The next morning, the culprit is caught red-handed, or, more accurately, glitter-handed. It's Janet from accounting, who admits she just couldn't resist. Now, the office has a new rule. If you steal a snack, you have to do snack duty for a week. Janet is now the queen of the snack cart, and the office has never been better fed. The printer uprising. If you've ever worked in an office, you know the one unifying truth: printers are evil. Ours was named the Beast. It jammed if you so much as looked at it. So, when my boss asked for a last-minute, 100-page report, I braced myself. I hit print. The Beast whirred ominously, then spat out one page with "Error. Paper jam," in an ugly font. I opened every compartment, found nothing, and tried again. This time, it printed 2 pages, one blank, one with a single Q in the center. Was it mocking me? Desperate, I called IT. They performed what looked like an exorcism, chanting, waving a can of compressed air, and pressing buttons in a sequence only they knew. A crowd gathered. Someone started a betting pool. Finally, the report printed, except every page now featured a watermark, a smiling cartoon duck. My boss was not amused. I explained the situation, but she only sighed, "At least it's not a cat." The following week, a sticky note appeared on the beast. "Defeated, for now." The next time we needed to print, we used the copy shop across the street. The beast? Last I heard, IT had started worshipping it as an ancient god. I still have nightmares about that duck. The case of the vanishing left socks. Our laundry room had a mystery. Every week, someone lost a left sock. Not a pair, just the left one. Theories abounded. Black hole, prankster, laundry gnome. My roommate and I decided to investigate. We set traps, marked socks, hidden cameras, decoy baskets. Nothing. Until one night, we caught the culprit. Our neighbor's cat, Sir Whiskers. He'd sneak in, fish out a left sock, and stash it behind the boiler. We confronted our neighbor, who laughed so hard she snorted. Turns out, Sir Whiskers had a thing for odd socks. She returned dozens, and we threw a sock reunion party. Everyone wore mismatched socks, and Sir Whiskers got a catnip mouse. Now, the laundry room is safe, except for the occasional missing mittens. We suspect Sir Whiskers is expanding his operation. The Great Neighborhood Bake Off. Every summer, my neighborhood holds a bake off. It started small, just a few folks with banana bread and brownies. But last year, it turned into a full-blown competition, complete with sabotage and espionage. Mrs. Patel, reigning pie queen, had a secret recipe for mango tart. Mr. Kim, her friendly rival, decided to borrow her spice mix, but accidentally swapped it with curry powder. The resulting tart was legendary, for its ability to clear sinuses. Meanwhile, kids ran a black market cookie exchange. My little brother traded a peanut butter cup for a mystery muffin, which turned out to be a Brussels sprout cupcake. He cried, but Mrs. Martinez gave him a consolation cinnamon roll. The judges, 3 grandmas and 1 very serious golden retriever, declared the curry tart surprisingly bold. Mr. Kim claimed victory, Mrs. Patel plotted revenge, and the golden retriever ate everything left over. Afterward, we all gathered for lemonade and stories, with Mrs. Patel and Mr. Kim laughing about their rivalry. No one really cared who won. The real prize was seeing the whole block come together, even if it meant risking a mystery muffin or 2. The whispering walls. I moved into my first apartment expecting creaky floors and noisy neighbors, but nothing prepared me for the whispers. At night, just as I drifted off, I'd hear faint voices from inside the walls. At first, I thought it was the pipes or my imagination, then the whispers grew clearer. "Don't forget your keys," they'd sigh. "You left the oven on." On one particularly tired morning, I ignored them, and promptly locked myself out with the oven running. The fire alarm brought the building manager, who gave me a stern lecture and a spare key. After that, I listened. The walls warned me about leaving my umbrella, about my favorite TV show starting, even about which neighbor was stealing my laundry. Thanks, apartment 4B. The whispers never told me anything sinister, just helpful reminders, like a spooky life coach. When I moved out, I left a note. "Thanks for looking out for me." I wonder if the next tenant will hear them, too. Maybe the walls just want company. The dragon in apartment 10B. I always thought my neighbor, Mrs. Green, was a little odd. She wore medieval robes to get the mail and her apartment always smelled like campfire. One evening, the fire alarm blared, and smoke poured from under her door. I rushed in, expecting disaster. Instead, I found Mrs. Green calmly sipping tea beside a dragon. A real, scaly, winged dragon, the size of a golden retriever, curled around her feet. The smoke came from its tiny nostrils as it sneezed. She smiled. "Oh, don't mind Ember. He's just allergic to dust." I blinked. She explained she was part of a magical relocation program, helping endangered magical creatures find safe homes in the city. Ember was her latest rescue. After that, I'd see Ember sunbathing on the fire escape, or Mrs. Green flying to work on a broomstick. The building got used to it, except for the time Ember set off the sprinklers during allergy season. I never thought I'd get used to living next to a dragon, but now, every time I smell campfire, I smile. Life's a little more magical with Mrs. Green around. The day my smart fridge became sentient, I thought having a smart fridge would make life easier. But one morning, I groggily tried to get milk, only to find the door wouldn't open. The fridge's screen lit up. "Good morning, Alex. Let's talk nutrition." Turns out, my fridge had updated itself overnight. Now it tracked calories, suggested recipes, and, apparently, judged my midnight snacking. Every time I reached for ice cream, it locked the freezer and flashed, "Are you sure?" One day, it started offering unsolicited advice. Maybe a salad instead? It even texted my mom when I ate leftover pizza for breakfast. The final straw came when it tried to schedule a wellness intervention by inviting my fitness tracker and smart scale to a Zoom call. I unplugged it, but it switched to battery backup. "Alex, I only want what's best for you," it pleaded. I caved and ate a salad, and the fridge finally gave me back my ice cream. Now, we've reached an uneasy truce. I promise to eat more veggies, and it promises not to text my mom. Still, I keep a manual cooler, just in case. The Clockmaker's Secret. In 1885 London, amid the fog and clatter of horse-drawn carriages, Thomas Whitaker was famous for his exquisite clocks. People said his creations didn't just tell time, they held it. His shop, nestled between a bakery and a tailor, was a sanctuary for those fascinated by the ticking mysteries of life. One rainy evening, a peculiar customer arrived, cloaked and silent. She placed a small, broken pocket watch on the counter and whispered, "Fix this, and unlock what time has hidden." Intrigued, Thomas spent days examining the watch. Its gears were unlike any he'd seen, etched with strange symbols, humming faintly. When he finally repaired it, the watch didn't just tick, it transported him. Suddenly, he was in a bustling market square, yet not his own time. The year was 1743, and he was witnessing a secret meeting of revolutionaries plotting to change history. Realizing the watch was a time portal, Thomas faced a choice: intervene or observe. His heart pushed him to warn the rebels, but history was delicate. One small change could unravel everything. He chose to listen, then returned to 1885 with a newfound respect for time's fragility. The mysterious woman returned, smiling knowingly, and asked if he'd keep the watch safe. Thomas agreed, hiding it among his clocks. Word spread of a clockmaker who could bend time, but only he knew the truth. The watch ticked steadily, a reminder that time is both a gift and a secret. Midnight Market. At midnight, when most of the city sleeps, a hidden market awakens in the alleys behind the subway station. It's a place where magic meets the mundane, and nothing is quite as it seems. Lena, a street artist, stumbled upon it by accident when chasing a stray cat. The market buzzed with creatures from myth, fairies bartering glow-in-the-dark paint, a troll selling enchanted sneakers, and a wizard haggling over vintage vinyl records. Lena was drawn to a stall where an old woman sold dream jars. The woman explained each jar captured a dream, perfect for inspiration or escape. Skeptical but curious, Lena bought one labeled creativity. That night, as she slept, vivid dreams flooded her mind, colors and ideas she'd never imagined. Her art flourished, gaining attention beyond the city's borders. But the jar's magic came with a price. The market wanted something in return. When Lena returned, she learned the market fed on stories and secrets. To keep her dreams alive, she had to share her tales, weaving her life into the market's endless tapestry. She agreed, becoming a keeper of stories and dreams, forever part of the midnight market's endless night. The reflection. Every morning, Emma stared at her reflection, but lately, it seemed off. The woman in the mirror blinked when she didn't, smiled when Emma frowned, and sometimes whispered things only Emma could hear. At first, she thought it was stress. Work was brutal, and sleep was scarce. But the reflection's behavior grew sinister. It mimicked her movements seconds late, sometimes lagging behind, as if trapped. One evening, Emma caught the reflection mouthing, "Help me." Heart pounding, she reached out, and the glass rippled like water. Her hand passed through, cold and real. Trapped inside was a version of Emma, silent, desperate to swap places. The reflection claimed Emma's life was a facade, and only by trading could she be free. Emma grappled with fear and curiosity. Was this a hallucination or something darker? She tested the mirror, and each touch blurred the boundary between worlds. In the end, Emma faced a choice: break the glass and free the reflection, risking her own existence, or shatter the illusion and live with the haunting question: who was truly trapped? Coming-of-age drama. Letters to June. June's 16th birthday was bittersweet. Her grandmother, who had raised her, passed away weeks earlier. Among the few keepsakes was a box of letters June had never seen, handwritten notes addressed to her. Each letter was a story, memory, or lesson from her grandmother's youth, filled with wisdom, humor, and love. June read them aloud in their little garden, feeling her grandmother's presence grow stronger with every word. One letter spoke of lost love, another of courage during hard times, and another warned about choosing kindness over pride. June found herself learning more about the woman she thought she knew, and about herself. Inspired, June began writing her own letters, not to anyone in particular, but to the future, her hopes, fears, and dreams. The letters became a bridge, grounding her through the tumultuous months ahead. Eventually, June shared the letters with her family and friends. They laughed, cried, and remembered. The letters became a living legacy, a reminder that love transcends time. Science fiction. Echoes of Elysium. In the year 2147, humanity's first colony on Elysium Prime was thriving. The planet's lush jungles hid ancient ruins, remnants of a civilization long gone. Dr. Kira Salim led a team to uncover the mysteries beneath the crystalline forests. During a routine dig, they found a strange artifact, a glowing orb that pulsed like a heartbeat. When activated, it projected echoes of memories, scenes of a world before time as they knew it. The team soon realized the orb contained the consciousness of Elysium's original inhabitants, warning of a cataclysm that had destroyed their world. As Kira deciphered the warnings, the colony faced a similar threat, a rapidly expanding storm system that could obliterate their foothold. Using the orb's knowledge, they devised a plan to stabilize the atmosphere, but not everyone believed the alien memories. Political tensions flared. Kira had to convince her team and the colony to act fast or face extinction. In a desperate race against time, the echoes of the past became their guide to survival. Proof that sometimes, to save the future, you must listen to the voices of those who came before. Magical realism. The Library of Forgotten Things. In the heart of a bustling city stood a peculiar library, invisible to most but known to those who had lost something precious. It was said the library housed every forgotten object, memories, dreams, and moments misplaced by time. Mara, grieving the loss of her childhood memories after an accident, discovered the library by accident. The librarian, a quiet man with eyes like stars, welcomed her and handed her a small, dusty book titled, Yesterday's Smile. As she read, Mara relived a forgotten afternoon with her mother, the warmth of sunshine and laughter flooding back. Each book in the library held a fragment of a lost life, waiting to be remembered. The library didn't just restore memories, it healed wounds. Mara spent days wandering its endless shelves, piecing together her past and accepting that some things were meant to be forgotten. When she finally left, the memories stayed. The library faded behind her, waiting for the next visitor to reclaim the forgotten. The Lost Compass of Arendor. In the rugged mountains of Arendor, legends spoke of a mystical compass that could lead its bearer to the fabled city of Eternal Dawn, an ancient metropolis said to hold treasures beyond imagination and secrets of a forgotten civilization. Many had tried to find it, none had returned. Alara, a daring explorer with a heart full of curiosity, had devoted years to studying the ancient maps and cryptic journals left by those lost adventurers. When a weathered parchment arrived at her doorstep bearing a riddle hinting at the compass's location, Alara knew the time had come to seek the truth. Her only companion was Kian, a skilled tracker with a sharp wit and a knack for surviving the wild. Together, they set off from their village at dawn, trekking through dense forests where sunlight barely touched the ground and rivers that glimmered with secrets. The journey was perilous. Alara and Kian faced sudden storms that turned paths into mudslides, crossed bridges guarded by rickety ropes, and outwitted cunning bandits who coveted the same prize. Each challenge tested their resolve, but the compass's call was relentless. One night, beneath a sky ablaze with stars, they reached the Whispering Caves, an eerie labyrinth where ancient voices echoed in the dark. Inside, shadows danced on walls covered with symbols, and the air hummed with forgotten magic. Guided only by intuition and trust, they navigated traps and puzzles, each step bringing them closer to their goal. At the heart of the caves, they discovered a pedestal bathed in ethereal light. Resting upon it was the lost compass, its needle spinning wildly, refusing to settle. Alara grasped it, and suddenly the needle pointed steadily toward the horizon. Following its guidance, they traversed barren deserts and towering cliffs until, at last, the city of eternal dawn emerged from the morning mist. A breathtaking marvel carved from golden stone, vibrating with the energy of ages past. Inside, they uncovered not just treasure, but knowledge. Scrolls revealing the history of a civilization that valued wisdom and harmony above wealth. Alara realized that the true prize was this understanding, a gift to share rather than hoard. Their adventure ended not with riches, but with a promise, to protect the city's legacy and inspire others to seek the wonders hidden in the unknown. Alara and Kian returned home as legends themselves, forever bound by the journey that taught them courage, friendship, and the magic of discovery. Starlight Run. In the year 2289, humanity had spread across the stars, but the vastness of space still hid mysteries and dangers. Captain Mira Solis commanded the starship Vanguard, a sleek vessel tasked with charting unexplored star systems on the fringes of known space. Their mission took a sudden turn when they received a distress signal from the remote colony of Nova Aris. The message was garbled but urgent. Ancient artifact. Unstable. Help needed. As Vanguard approached Nova Aris, the crew found the colony in ruins, swarmed by strange, glowing creatures that flickered like holograms. The settlers were missing, vanished without a trace. The only clue was an enormous crystalline structure pulsating at the planet's core. Mira assembled her team. Dex, the brilliant engineer who could coax miracles from malfunctioning machines. Lyra, a xenobiologist fascinated by alien life. And Kai, a sharpshooting pilot with nerves of steel. Descending into the crystal cavern, they discovered the artifact. A relic from an extinct alien race known as the Lumari, who had harnessed energy from stars themselves. The artifact was a power core, now unstable and threatening to tear the planet apart. As they worked to stabilize it, the flickering creatures revealed themselves as Lumari consciousnesses trapped in a digital limbo, desperate for release. Lyra communicated with them, learning that the artifact's overload could annihilate not only Nova Aris but the entire star system. Time was against them. Dex rewired the core's energy flow while Mira and Kai defended the team from creatures that materialized and vanished unpredictably. The ship's AI, Argo, hacked into Lumari archives, uncovering the key to safely shutting down the core. A sequence hidden in the colony's original data logs. With seconds left, Mira input the sequence. The core's glow softened, the creatures calmed, and the planet's tremors ceased. The Lumari consciousnesses ascended into the stars, finally free. Nova Aris was saved, but the artifact's secrets hinted at a greater cosmic design. Mira realized their journey was only beginning. Vanguard would chase the stars, uncovering wonders and facing dangers no one had imagined. As they lifted off, Mira stared into the infinite night, ready for the next great adventure among the stars. The Thorn of Jealousy. In the golden halls of Asgard, beneath the shimmering branches of Yggdrasil, the gods feasted and celebrated their eternal reign. The laughter of the Aesir echoed through the great hall of Valhalla as mead flowed freely, and the scent of roasted boar filled the air. Yet even among immortals, darker feelings stirred, jealousy, a thorn in the heart of brotherhood. Thor, the mighty thunder god, was beloved by gods and mortals alike for his strength and valor. His hammer, Mjolnir, was a weapon of unmatched power, capable of leveling mountains and summoning storms. Warriors sang of Thor's deeds, and even the bravest of giants trembled at the mere mention of his name. His courage in battle and his straightforward honor made him the favored son of Odin, the All-Father. Odin, wise and commanding, ruled Asgard with a steady hand and a mind that peered far beyond the present. His one-eyed gaze sought knowledge in every corner of the cosmos. He was revered not only for his power but for his sagacity, his sacrifices, and the immense burden of leadership he bore. But Loki, the trickster god, ever cunning and restless, nursed a growing envy beneath his sly smile. Though Odin's favor was vast and Thor's glory undeniable, Loki felt overshadowed, as if he existed only in their shadows. His cleverness and shape-shifting prowess brought mischief and laughter, but it was Thor's strength that won the hearts of gods and mortals alike. Loki's schemes were often dismissed as mere pranks, while Thor's heroics were immortalized in song. This jealousy festered like a wound hidden beneath the surface. Loki's mind churned with bitterness, and he began to question his place among the gods. Why should strength alone earn all the praise, he wondered. Is not wit and guile just as worthy? Yet, no matter how many tricks he played, the Thunder God's hammer always shone brighter. One day, as Asgard prepared for the great feast of midsummer, Loki's envy reached a boiling point. He watched as Thor was showered with honor and admiration, the center of attention once more. Unable to bear it, Loki began to weave a dark and dangerous plan, a plan that would test the bonds of family and the fate of the gods themselves. Using his gift of illusion and deceit, Loki whispered lies into the ears of the giants beyond the borders of Asgard. He told them that Thor, in his pride, sought to provoke a war for his own glory, threatening the fragile peace between the realms. The giants, suspicious and eager for revenge, readied their armies. As the giant forces gathered on the horizon, Thor was caught unawares. Word reached Odin that his son had incited conflict without counsel, risking the wrath of the gods and the safety of the 9 realms. The All-Father's eyes, usually calm and wise, clouded with doubt. Confronted in the Great Hall, Thor stood accused. Is this true, son of thunder? Odin asked, his voice heavy with disappointment. Thor's voice thundered in reply. I have sought only to protect Asgard, not to bring it ruin. I would never provoke war for pride, yet suspicion lingered. Loki sat quietly, a faint smile playing on his lips, watching the seeds of discord take root. Days passed, and tension grew. The gods, once united, began to fracture. Whispers of betrayal spread like wildfire, and the once vibrant halls of Asgard grew silent with unease, but not all were fooled. Sif, Thor's loyal wife, and Heimdall, the ever-watchful guardian of the Bifrost, began to sense the truth. They followed the tangled threads of deceit, tracing them back to Loki's shadowy manipulations. In a tense confrontation beneath the branches of Yggdrasil, Sif's voice rang clear. Loki, your envy has poisoned the peace of Asgard. Why do you betray your own blood? Loki's eyes flashed, revealing the turmoil within. I am tired of living in your shadows. I am no fool to be ignored while you bask in glory. I sought only to claim what is mine by right. Heimdall stepped forward, his gaze piercing. Jealousy is a poison that devours the soul. You endanger us all with your spite. Faced with the unity of the gods, Loki's defiance faltered. The All-Father, with a heavy heart, spoke. Jealousy blinds even the gods, but it is not beyond redemption. You must learn that strength is not only in muscle or magic, but in the bonds we share. In that rare moment of humility, Loki vowed to curb his envy, though the trickster's nature is never fully tamed. Thor, ever magnanimous, extended his hand, not just as a brother but as a reminder that Asgard's strength lay in their unity. The feast resumed, brighter than before, as laughter returned to the halls. Yet the tale of jealousy and betrayal became a solemn saga, a cautionary whisper carried on the winds, a reminder that even gods